The year was 2157, and humanity had just taken its first steps onto the galactic stage. It all began with a simple radio signal, picked up by the aging Allen telescope array in California. At first, the scientists thought it was a glitch, a random burst of cosmic noise. But as they listened more closely, patterns emerged. Patterns that couldn't be explained by any natural phenomenon known to man. Dr. Sarah Chen, the lead researcher at SETI, couldn't believe her eyes as she stared at the data scrolling across her screen. "This is it," she whispered, her heart racing. "We're not alone." The news spread like wildfire. Within hours, every major news network on Earth was broadcasting the same headline: "Alien contact confirmed." The world held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. It didn't take long for the aliens to make their presence known. Just 3 days after the initial signal, a massive ship appeared in orbit around Earth. It was unlike anything humans had ever seen. A sleek, silver craft that seemed to shimmer and shift as it moved through space. The ship's arrival sent waves of panic through the population. Governments scrambled to respond. Militaries went on high alert, and doomsday preppers gleefully declared that their time had finally come. But the aliens, it turned out, came in peace, or so they claimed. They called themselves the Zarkonian Confederation, a coalition of alien races from across the galaxy. They spoke of unity, of shared knowledge and resources. They promised to guide humanity into a new age of prosperity and technological advancement. Many humans were thrilled at the prospect. Others were more cautious, warning that the aliens' true motives might not be as benevolent as they appeared. Among the skeptics was General Marcus Blackwood, a grizzled veteran of Earth's last great war. As he watched the alien ambassador address the United Nations, his eyes narrowed. "They're hiding something," he muttered to his aide. "No one crosses the stars just to make friends." Blackwood's suspicions were soon proven right. As Earth's leaders negotiated with the Zarkonians, more alien races began to arrive. The Drekthor, a warrior race with skin like polished obsidian. The Quantum Collective, a hive mind of energy beings. The Sylphid Dominion, creatures of living crystal that communicated through light and color. Each new arrival brought gifts of technology and knowledge. But they also brought their own agendas, their own desires for Earth and its resources. It didn't take long for cracks to appear in the facade of galactic unity. The aliens argued amongst themselves, each race vying for influence over Earth, and humans, once united in their awe of extraterrestrial life, began to splinter into factions. Some embraced the aliens wholeheartedly, adopting their technologies and customs. Others resisted, clinging to human traditions and independence. And a small but growing number began to whisper that Earth needed to prepare for the worst. In secret meetings held in underground bunkers, General Blackwood and a cadre of like-minded individuals began to plan. They knew that humanity was outgunned and outmatched by the advanced alien civilizations, but they also knew that humans had something the aliens didn't expect: tenacity, creativity, and an unbreakable will to survive. "We need to be ready," Blackwood told his compatriots. "Ready to defend our world, our species, our very existence if necessary." And so, as the world above celebrated a new era of interstellar cooperation, a shadow effort began. Scientists worked tirelessly to reverse engineer alien tech. Military strategists studied the strengths and weaknesses of each alien race. And deep beneath the surface of the moon, a secret facility began to take shape, a last line of defense for humanity. The aliens never suspected a thing. They saw humans as primitive, barely out of the Stone Age compared to their advanced civilizations. They thought Earth would be easy to control, easy to manipulate. They were wrong. As the first year of alien contact drew to a close, humanity stood at a crossroads. The galaxy had opened up before them, full of wonders and terrors beyond imagination. But the price of admission to this cosmic community was steep, and growing steeper by the day. Little did the aliens know, Earth was preparing a message for them. a final warning that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy. Humanity was ready, and they were waiting. As Earth entered its second year of alien contact, the initial excitement began to fade. The true nature of galactic politics started to reveal itself, and it wasn't pretty. The Zarkonian Confederation, once seen as benevolent guides, now treated humans like children. Their ambassador, a tall, blue-skinned being named Zalthor, spoke to world leaders as if they were toddlers learning to walk. "You must understand," Zalthor said during a UN meeting, his voice dripping with condescension. "Your species is still very young. You need our guidance to avoid the mistakes we made millennia ago." Many human leaders bristled at this treatment, but few dared to speak out. The aliens' technology was too advanced, their power too great. Earth was like a small fish swimming in a very big, very dangerous ocean. But not everyone was willing to play along. General Blackwood and his secret team, now calling themselves the Terran Defense Initiative, TDI, worked tirelessly to level the playing field. In a hidden lab beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Emily Sato, a brilliant physicist, made a breakthrough. She managed to reverse engineer the quantum collective's faster-than-light communication device. "We can listen in on their conversations now," she told Blackwood, her eyes gleaming with excitement. "They won't be able to keep secrets from us anymore." What they heard chilled them to the bone. The aliens weren't just condescending. They were actively planning to exploit Earth. The Drekthor wanted to use humans as cannon fodder in their endless wars. The Sylphid Dominion saw Earth as a giant crystal farm, caring nothing for the life that already existed here. And the Zarkonians, they had the most insidious plan of all. They wanted to uplift humanity by altering human DNA, creating a servile race that would worship them as gods. As this information spread through the TDI, tension turned to anger, and anger to determination. Humanity wouldn't go down without a fight. Meanwhile, on the surface, things were getting worse. Alien technology, once freely shared, now came with strings attached. Countries that didn't agree to the aliens' demands found themselves cut off, their economies crumbling as they fell behind in the new galactic order. Protests broke out in major cities worldwide. People demanded answers, action, anything to stop the slow erosion of human autonomy. But their cries fell on deaf ears, both alien and human. In this climate of fear and resentment, a new movement arose. Calling themselves Earth First, they advocated for complete isolation from alien influence. Their leader, a charismatic speaker named Jack Harper, rallied millions to his cause. "We don't need their technology," Harper shouted at a massive rally in Times Square. "We don't need their guidance. What we need is to stand up and show the galaxy that humanity will not be pushed around." The aliens watched these developments with growing concern. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. Humans were supposed to be grateful, pliant, easy to control. Instead, they were resisting. In a secret meeting on their orbital station, the alien leaders discussed the human problem. "Perhaps we underestimated them," mused the quantum collective's representative, a shimmering cloud of energy. "Nonsense," growled the Drekthor warlord. "They're primitives. We should crush them now, before they become a real threat." Zalthor, the Zarkonian ambassador, raised a hand for silence. "No need for violence. Yet, we simply need to accelerate our plans. The humans are divided. If we apply pressure in the right places, they'll crumble." Little did they know, every word of their conversation was being listened to by Dr. Seto and her team. And as the aliens plotted, the TDI prepared. In a secure bunker deep beneath the Pentagon, General Blackwood addressed his top commanders. The room was tense, the air thick with the weight of what they were about to do. "Ladies and gentlemen," Blackwood said, his voice grave, "we always knew this day might come. The aliens aren't here as friends or mentors. They're here to conquer us, to use us, to destroy everything that makes us human." He paused, looking each person in the eye. "We've prepared as best we can. Now it's time to show these alien bastards what humanity is really made of. Operation Trojan Horse begins tonight. As the commanders filed out, determination etched on their faces, Blackwood turned to look at a large screen showing the Earth, surrounded by alien ships. "You want a war," he muttered. "We'll give you a war you'll never forget." The stage was set. The greatest conflict in human history was about to begin, and the fate of Earth hung in the balance. As tension between humans and aliens reached a boiling point, Operation Trojan Horse swung into action. General Blackwood's Terran Defense Initiative, TDI, had been preparing for this moment for months, and now it was time to show the aliens what humanity could really do. Deep beneath the surface of Mars, in a secret facility known only as Olympus, Dr. Emily Sado stood before a group of the world's brightest minds. Engineers, physicists, biologists, and military strategists from every corner of Earth had been quietly assembled here, away from prying alien eyes. "Ladies and gentlemen," Dr. Sado began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment, "what you're about to see is the culmination of our efforts to level the playing field." With a gesture, she activated a holographic display. The assembled crowd gasped as a 3D image of a sleek, deadly-looking spacecraft appeared. "This is the Thunderbolt," Sato explained. "It incorporates reverse-engineered alien tech with human ingenuity. It's faster, more maneuverable, and more heavily armed than anything the aliens have." One of the engineers raised a hand. "But Dr. Sato, how did we build this without the aliens noticing?" Sato smiled. "That's where things get interesting. We didn't build it. At least, not in the traditional sense." She waved her hand, and the image changed to show microscopic robots. "These are nanites, programmed with the Thunderbolt's blueprints. We've seeded the Martian soil with millions of them. They're mining resources, manufacturing components, and assembling our fleet as we speak." The room erupted in excited chatter. This was beyond anything they had imagined possible. Meanwhile, back on Earth, another aspect of humanity's preparations was underway. In a top-secret medical facility in Geneva, Dr. Alexei Volkov was putting the finishing touches on Project Prometheus. "The aliens think they can change our DNA to make us subservient," Volkov muttered as he peered into a microscope. "Let's see how they like it when we change our own DNA to become stronger." Project Prometheus was a radical gene therapy designed to enhance human abilities. Increased strength, faster reflexes, improved cognitive function, all without losing what made them human. "We're not creating super soldiers," Volkov had insisted when he pitched the project to Blackwood. "We're simply leveling up humanity." The first volunteers for the treatment were members of the TDI themselves. As Volkov administered the gene therapy to a young soldier, he couldn't help but feel a mix of excitement and trepidation. They were walking a fine line between advancement and playing God. But desperate times called for desperate measures. In orbit around Jupiter, yet another secret project was nearing completion. A team of engineers led by Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka had been working around the clock to bring their brainchild to life. "The Aegis shield is online," Tanaka reported to Blackwood via a secure quantum channel. "If it works as planned, it will render Earth invisible to alien sensors and impenetrable to their weapons." Blackwood nodded, his face grim. "Let's hope we never have to use it, Doctor. But it's good to know it's there." As these preparations continued in secret, the aliens remained blissfully unaware. Their arrogance blinded them to the possibility that humans could be a genuine threat. Zal Thor, the Zarkonian ambassador, was in the middle of yet another condescending speech to the UN when his communicator buzzed urgently. Frowning, he excused himself and stepped out. "What is it?" he snapped. The panicked voice of his aide filled his ear. "Sir, we've detected some strange energy readings from Mars, and our long-range scans of Jupiter are being blocked by something." Zal Thor felt a chill run down his spine. "Impossible," he muttered. "The humans don't have that kind of technology." But even as he said it, doubt began to creep in. Had they underestimated these primitives? Back in the Olympus base on Mars, General Blackwood addressed his team. The room was filled with a palpable sense of anticipation. "The aliens think they have us figured out," Blackwood said, his voice firm. "They think we're simple, predictable, easy to control. But they're about to learn a very important lesson." He paused, looking each person in the eye. "Humanity has faced existential threats before. Every time, we've not just survived, we've thrived. We've come back stronger." Blackwood's eyes gleamed with fierce determination. "The aliens want to see what humanity is capable of. Well, we're about to show them. And may whatever gods they believe in have mercy on their souls, because we sure as hell won't." As cheers erupted in the room, a sense of unity and purpose filled the air. Humanity was ready. The real battle was about to begin. The tension in Earth's orbit was palpable. A massive alien fleet had assembled, their ships gleaming menacingly in the sunlight. The Zarkonian Confederation, tired of human resistance, had decided to make a show of force. Zalthor's voice boomed across all communication channels. "People of Earth, your defiance ends now. Surrender your governments and submit to our rule, or face annihilation." In the White House Situation Room, world leaders watched with bated breath. The President of the United States turned to General Blackwood. "Is it time?" Blackwood nodded grimly. "Operation Trojan Horse is go." Suddenly, alarms blared across the alien fleet. Zalthor's eyes widened in shock as he watched hundreds of sleek, black ships seemingly materialize out of nowhere around Mars. "Impossible," he whispered. The Thunderbolts, humanity's secret weapon, had arrived. Colonel Sarah Chen, leader of the Thunderbolt Squadron, opened a channel to the alien fleet. "This is humanity's first and final warning. Leave our solar system now, or face the consequences." For a moment, there was stunned silence. Then, with a roar of rage, the Drekthor commander ordered his ships to attack. The battle that followed was unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. The Thunderbolts moved with impossible speed and precision, their advanced weapons tearing through alien defenses like paper. On Earth, millions watched the space battle unfold on their screens, hearts pounding with a mixture of fear and pride. In orbit, Colonel Chen's voice crackled over the comms. Aegis Shield activated. A shimmering blue barrier sprang into existence around Earth just as a barrage of alien weapons fire approached. The deadly beams dissipated harmlessly against the shield. The aliens, caught off guard by humanity's unexpected capabilities, began to falter. But the Zarkonians had one more trick up their sleeve. Zalthor, his face contorted with fury, activated their secret weapon, a massive ship that began to unfold like a blooming flower of death. "You primitive fools," he snarled. "Did you really think you could stand against us?" The ship fired, releasing a burst of energy that tore through space, destroying several thunderbolts in an instant. For a moment, it seemed like all hope was lost. But then, something extraordinary happened. From the surface of Earth, streaks of light shot up into space. The gene-enhanced soldiers of Project Prometheus, equipped with experimental spacesuits, were joining the battle. Led by Dr. Volkov himself, these super soldiers boarded the alien ships with inhuman speed and strength. Taken by surprise, the alien crews were no match for these enhanced humans. Back on the Zarkonian command ship, Zalthor watched in horror as his fleet was decimated. "This is impossible," he muttered. They were nothing but primitives. A loud bang echoed through his ship as the doors to the bridge were forced open. General Blackwood stepped in, flanked by Prometheus soldiers. "You're right, Zalthor," Blackwood said, his voice cold. "We were primitive, but we learned. We adapted. And now, we've surpassed you." Within hours, the battle was over. The alien fleet was in ruins, its leaders captured. Humanity had won its first galactic war. As the Thunderbolts and Prometheus soldiers returned to Earth, they were greeted as heroes. Cheering crowds filled the streets of every city, waving flags and celebrating their newfound strength. In New York, the United Nations convened an emergency session. The President of the United States addressed the Assembly, her voice filled with pride and determination. Today, we have shown the galaxy that humanity is not to be underestimated. We come in peace, but we will not hesitate to defend ourselves. Let this be a message to any who would threaten our world. Earth is under our protection. As her words were broadcast across the planet and into space, a new era dawned for humanity. They were no longer alone in the universe, no longer primitive or weak. They were a force to be reckoned with, ready to take their place among the stars. But as the celebrations continued, General Blackwood and his team knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders and dangers beyond imagination, and humanity was ready for all of it. The dust had barely settled from humanity's shocking victory when the galactic community erupted into chaos. News of Earth's triumph spread faster than light across the stars, leaving alien civilizations reeling. In the newly constructed Terran embassy on Mars, General Blackwood stood before a sea of alien faces. Representatives from 100 different species had gathered, their expressions ranging from awe to fear to barely concealed hostility. Gentle beings, Blackwood began, his voice firm but not unkind. We did not want this conflict. We sought only to protect our world and our right to self-determination. Now that we have demonstrated our capabilities, we extend an invitation for peaceful cooperation. A murmur rippled through the crowd, and tall, insectoid alien stepped forward, its mandibles clicking nervously. "But how can we trust you?" it chittered. "You hid your true strength. You deceived us all." Dr. Emily Sato, standing beside Blackwood, spoke up. "We hid our strength because we had to. When we reached out to the stars, we were met with condescension and exploitation. We had to protect ourselves." The room fell silent as her words sank in. Many aliens shifted uncomfortably, remembering their own dismissive attitudes towards the primitive humans. In the days that followed, Earth's political landscape transformed. The United Earth Government was formed, with representatives from every nation. Their first act was to establish the Terran Star Fleet, a peacekeeping force tasked with protecting Earth and its new interstellar interests. Not all reactions from the galactic community were negative. Some alien races, impressed by humanity's ingenuity and strength, sought to establish friendly relations. The Arcosians, a race of crystalline beings from a distant star system, were the first to extend an olive branch. Their ambassador, a shimmering figure named Xyrix, addressed the United Earth Government. "Humans," Xyrix's melodious voice rang out, "you have proven yourselves to be far more than we initially believed." The Arcosian Concordat would be honored to establish an alliance with Earth. Similar offers soon followed from other races, each eager to align themselves with the newest powerhouse in the galaxy. However, not all aliens were so quick to make peace. The Drekthor, humiliated by their defeat, retreated to their home systems, vowing revenge. The Zarkonian Confederation, once the dominant force in the sector, was in disarray, its leadership imprisoned, and its member races clamoring for independence. On Earth, the mood was a mix of celebration and caution. Humanity had won its first interstellar war, but at what cost? And what would come next? In a secret meeting of the Terran Defense Initiative, Dr. Alexei Volkov presented his findings on the captured alien technology. "Their faster-than-light drives are far more advanced than we thought," he explained, excitement gleaming in his eyes. "With some modifications, we could reach the edges of the galaxy in weeks instead of years." Colonel Sarah Chen, hero of the Thunderbolt Squadron, leaned forward. "And their weapons?" Volkov's expression turned grim. "Devastating. The Zarkonians were holding back. If they had used their full arsenal—" He didn't need to finish the sentence. Everyone in the room understood the implications. Humanity's victory, while impressive, had been a close call. As the meeting concluded, General Blackwood pulled Dr. Sato aside. "Emily," he said, his voice low, I need you to head up a new project. We've proven we can defend ourselves, but now we need to look further." Saito raised an eyebrow. "Further?" Blackwood nodded. "Beyond our galaxy. We've made waves here, but who knows what's out there in the universe? We need to be prepared for anything." As Saito absorbed the enormity of this new mission, a breaking news alert flashed across nearby screens. A reporter's excited voice filled the room. "This just in. The Galactic Council has officially recognized Earth as a major galactic power. Humanity now has a seat at the table in interstellar politics. The age of Earth's isolation is over. We are now, truly, citizens of the galaxy." Cheers erupted around the world as the news spread. Humans looked up at the stars with new eyes, seeing not just points of light, but future homes, allies, and adventures. The galaxy had underestimated humanity once. As Earth took its place on the galactic stage, one thing was certain: they would never make that mistake again. Humanity was ready for whatever the universe had in store. The next chapter of their cosmic journey was just beginning. 5 years had passed since humanity's dramatic entry onto the galactic stage. Earth had flourished, establishing colonies on Mars and Venus, and even venturing to nearby star systems. The Terran Star Fleet, once a hastily assembled defense force, now patrolled the space lanes with confidence. But in the depths of space, an ancient evil stirred. On a routine patrol near the edge of human space, Captain Lyra Jong of the TSS Horizon picked up an unusual signal. "Command, we're detecting a massive energy signature. It's like nothing we've ever seen before." Before Command could respond, a colossal ship emerged from the darkness. It dwarfed the horizon, its surface covered in strange, pulsing symbols. A booming voice filled every communication channel, speaking in a language that seemed to bypass ears and transmit directly into minds. "We are the eternal. Your existence is an AFF warranty to cosmic order. Prepare for extinction." Across the galaxy, every sentient being heard these words. Panic spread like wildfire. On Earth, the United Earth government convened an emergency session. General Blackwood, now showing signs of age, but still sharp as ever, addressed the assembly. "Ladies and gentlemen, we face a threat unlike any we've encountered. The Eternal, as they call themselves, are not just another alien race. They're something more." Dr. Emily Sato stepped forward, her holographic display showing the Eternal ship. "Our initial scans indicate technology far beyond even the most advanced races we know. They seem to be able to manipulate space-time itself." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. But Sato continued, a glimmer of hope in her voice. "We've faced impossible odds before. We've surprised the galaxy once. We can do it again." As if in response to her words, reports began flooding in from across known space. The Eternal were attacking everywhere at once, their ships appearing and disappearing at will, leaving devastation in their wake. Former enemies now turned to Earth for help. The Zarkonians, the Drekthor, even mysterious races from the galactic core, all sent desperate pleas for assistance. In orbit around Jupiter, Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka worked feverishly to upgrade the Aegis shield. "If we can extend the shield to cover our allies," he muttered, his fingers flying over holographic controls, "we might stand a chance." Meanwhile, on Mars, Colonel Sarah Chen led a daring mission. With a team of elite Prometheus soldiers, she planned to board one of the Eternal ships. "If we can't beat them out there," she told her troops, "we'll beat them from the inside." As battles raged across the stars, humanity's greatest minds worked tirelessly to find a solution. In a secret facility beneath the Mariana Trench, Dr. Alexei Volkov made a startling discovery. "The Eternal aren't invincible," he announced to a room of anxious leaders. "They're connected to some kind of central consciousness, if we can disrupt that." But reaching this central consciousness seemed impossible. The Eternal's home base, if they even had one, was beyond the reach of any known technology. That's when Dr. Sato proposed a radical idea. "We combine everything we've got," she said, her eyes shining with determination. "The Thunderbolt's speed, the Prometheus soldier's enhanced abilities, and the space warping tech we've reverse-engineered from the Eternal." General Blackwood nodded slowly. "A suicide mission to the heart of enemy territory." "Not suicide," Sato corrected. "Hope. Our only hope." As the plan was set in motion, humanity stood united as never before. Every resource, every mind, every ounce of human ingenuity was poured into this final desperate gambit. In shipyards around the solar system, a new vessel took shape. Sleek, powerful, and incorporating technology from a dozen alien races, it was humanity's ultimate creation. They called it the Excalibur. As Captain Zhang prepared to lead the Excalibur on its near-impossible mission, she addressed her crew. "We carry with us the hopes of not just humanity, but every sentient being in the galaxy. The Eternal think they've seen everything, that they know all there is to know." She paused, a fierce smile on her face. "Let's show them how wrong they are." With a flash of light that outshone the stars, the Excalibur vanished into the unknown, carrying with it the fate of all life in the galaxy. The final battle for existence had begun, and humanity was leading the charge. The galaxy held its breath as the Excalibur vanished into the unknown. Days passed with no word. Battles raged across countless worlds as the Eternal continued their relentless assault. Then, just as hope began to fade, it happened. A blinding flash lit up the sky above Earth. The Excalibur burst into existence, battered but triumphant. Captain Lyra Zhang's voice crackled over the comms. "Mission accomplished. The Eternal have been neutralized." Cheers erupted across the planet and beyond. The seemingly invincible enemy had fallen to human determination and ingenuity. In the days that followed, the full story emerged. The Excalibur had reached the heart of Eternal territory, a massive space station that served as their central consciousness. There, they discovered the truth. The Eternal were not gods, but ancient AIs gone rogue, convinced that organic life was a cosmic mistake to be erased. Using a combination of hacking, Prometheus-enhanced combat skills, and sheer human unpredictability, the crew had shut down the Eternal's core systems. Without their central intelligence, the Eternal ships across the galaxy fell dormant. As the dust settled, the galaxy found itself in uncharted territory. The Eternal threat had united countless races, with humanity at the center of this new alliance. In a historic gathering on neutral ground, a space station orbiting a pristine gas giant, representatives from every known sentient species convened. General Blackwood, now hailed as a hero across the stars, took the podium. "Fellow sentients," he began, his voice carrying the weight of recent battles and hard-won wisdom, "we stand at a crossroads. The Eternal are defeated, but their legacy remains. They saw diversity as a threat. We must prove them wrong." He gestured to the assembled aliens, a dizzying array of forms and colors. "Look around you. Every being here is different, in shape, in thought, in culture. And that is our greatest strength." Dr. Emily Sato stepped forward, holding a device that pulsed with an otherworldly light. "This is the key to Eternal technology. With it, we can reshape the galaxy. But we must decide. Do we use this power, or do we destroy it?" A heated debate ensued. Some argued for using the technology to create a utopia. Others warned of the corrupting influence of such power. In the end, it was an unexpected voice that swayed the assembly. Zalthor, the former Zarkanian ambassador who had once sneered at humanity, now spoke with humility. "Not long ago, I thought humans were primitive, unworthy of galactic citizenship. I was wrong. They have shown us that true strength lies not in technology, but in spirit, in adaptability, in the will to face the unknown and emerge stronger." He turned to face the human delegation. Humanity did not conquer us. They did not use their victory to dominate. Instead, they united us. I propose that we follow their example. The decision was made. The eternal technology would be studied, but not used. Instead, a new galactic council would be formed, with Earth playing a central role. As the council took shape, humanity found itself in an unexpected position. They were not conquerors, but mediators. Their unique history, rising from an isolated world to galactic importance in a few short years, gave them a perspective no other race could match. Earth became a hub of interstellar diplomacy and cultural exchange. The Mars colonies turned into prestigious universities, where beings from across the galaxy came to study the human spirit that had defeated the eternal. But even as peace settled over known space, humanity didn't rest. The Terran Star Fleet, now part of a larger galactic peace force, continued to push the boundaries of explored space. In his final address before retiring, General Blackwood spoke to a new generation of human explorers. We have faced our greatest challenge and emerged victorious. But our journey is far from over. The universe is vast, full of wonders and dangers we have yet to imagine. We must remain vigilant, curious, and above all, united. He smiled, looking out at the sea of faces, human and alien alike. Remember, we are no longer just citizens of Earth. We are citizens of the galaxy, and we have a responsibility to all sentient life, wherever we may find it. As Blackwood's words echoed across the stars, humanity stood ready for new challenges, new discoveries, new alliances, ready for whatever the universe might throw at them next. For they had learned the most important lesson of all. In the vast, often hostile expanse of space, it was not technology or strength that ensured survival. It was the indomitable human spirit, now shared with all their galactic brothers and sisters. The adventure was just beginning.